I did, and we had wonderful people over and ate a lot of really good food and made sure that we also had time to rest and reflect and just and be thankful. And I also want to tell all of you, if you haven't seen the movie yet, Overcomer, I highly, highly recommend it. And that really typifies this lady right here. She is definitely an overcomer. She's a new graduate from Sherman College of Chiropractic. Her husband is in chiro school at Sherman. They have a new baby, and she opened a new practice. Talk about overcoming a lot of things at one time. Dr. Kay, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Dr. Barb. It is a pleasure.
Absolutely. And for all of you, like, we have just a little bit of a delay today in our broadcast. So just stick around. We're going to offer you lots of advice and lots of help and encouragement on your journey. So Kay, you recently posted in the boot camp, I freaking did it. I hit my big goal for November already. I opened my doors October 11th. Brought in 1,600 in October. I joined the boot camp 1 month ago today, and drum roll, as of today, I've taken in $8,000 even before Thanksgiving. So not even a full month into practice, and you're killing it. Well, girl, how are you doing that with a new baby and a husband who's in chiro school?
Yeah, I'm still in disbelief that I hit my goal. I actually surpassed my goal by over $1,400 that I just realized over Thanksgiving break when I was running the numbers. But it was probably like, I don't know, a week before Thanksgiving. And I was like, let me just look at my numbers. Like, I feel like my goal was so far off to hit. And I looked at my numbers, and I remember texting Anthony and being like, oh my gosh, I'm only, $1,000 away from hitting my goal. I couldn't even believe that that I had manifested that like by writing my goals down and following exactly what the boot camp told me to do and dreaming big, that it would actually come into fruition. And so it was an amazing, amazing feat to go into Thanksgiving with.
That is so awesome. And that momentum is so powerful. You and I think talked about this on our first call, this idea, this lie that, oh, it's just going to take a while to get to be profitable in practice. Or, hey, if you actually suck your first couple years in practice, that's okay. And I say, no. Because if that is going to be true, then we also have to tell people it's okay for you to be unhealthy, right? Because there's great similarities between our health account and our wealth account. So, Kay, for those who are watching, whether it's a student who's watching right now or a new doc, or even someone who's been in practice for quite some time and yet knows they have greater potential, they're not tapping into, what advice would you give them as a woman who's jumped in? It's not like you have endless time. I mean, we all have the same amount of time, but you're also raising a baby. Your husband's full on in school. What advice would you give them that's been so helpful?
I would say just do it. I mean, I know after I had my baby, I was still seeing people doing house calls and playing a very low game. I was just trying to keep up and do the thing that I love to do. And then I woke up one morning and I was like, why am I playing small? Why am I doing this? And I don't ever play small in anything. I always like really, really push to the limit and it kind of, just go all in. And so my goal was to do the boot camp eventually. And I was like, why not now? Why don't I do this right now? And the perfect space fell into my lap. And so if you're someone that has this dream of where you want to be and you think it takes long to get there, because I remember I was in that position too, just like you said, like we and Anthony, my husband, would sit and talk about, okay, well, 5 years from now, it might look like this. It might take us a year. But then I was like, no, stop thinking small. Everything I've done outside of chiropractic hasn't been small. So chiropractic could fit right into that model. So if you're thinking it's just like a 1% chance that only people can do this, like I'm doing it. I have a baby with me full time in practice. My husband's in school all day long, seeing patients and serving patients at Sherman College. And then he comes home and we go at it. I'm also working on my master's degree in clinical nutrition, and I do that at nighttime. There's so many things, like there's so much time that you have if you want to put effort forth to meeting your goals and doing things that will serve you better to serve other people, that you just have to do it. I mean, and the tools that Dr. Barb gives you, you just follow the steps and you align yourself with who you are and what you want, and you get to make your own connections and your own dreams with it. And it just like pushes you and just ignites you in your own path. It's nothing that you have to get from the outside. It literally is everything from the inside out, just like in chiropractic, and you get to have momentum in doing that.
I love that. And Kay, you had quite a bit of practice training as a rep at Sherman. And so the idea that you had was like, I kind of know what to do. And yet during our first call, we went through like, I want these things to be mine though. I want to feel like the systems in my practice are mine. Like I'm not a robot. Like there's so much power and authenticity. And for all of you, like this woman is part of the Free Birth Society. So her very first baby has her baby at home with her husband, stays in bed for 40 days, which I think is amazing. 40 days after, to just bond with her baby, just take excellent care of herself, like self-care, right? Who's taking care of your kid's mom? So if we're running and killing ourselves, then we're not really given to our family like we can. So she also practices an incredible self-care. She's very involved with her husband and her baby. So for those of you who are looking at her results going, well, I'm just a better mom, or I spend more time, or maybe you do spend more time, but let's talk about impact, right? So Kay, what can you share about your experience thus far in the boot camp about being able to take this step by step and yet feeling like it's your own and it's not cookie cutter?
Yeah, and so that's exactly what I did is when I joined the boot camp, I joined not just a group of other doctors doing the same thing, but a group of doctors doing it the way that they feel most connected in doing it. And I did a lot of training. I was very involved in making sure I was prepared as soon as I got out of school to start and get going the way that some other individuals or students just feel like they don't have time for while they were in school. And it's not that that didn't benefit me. It's that I just was lost. Like you have so much that you have to do as a person and as a new grad, and so many things that you don't learn in school. And when I joined the boot camp, it was like everybody was on that same track. No matter if they were 10 years into practice or 20 years into practice, everybody was kind of at that same position, whether they had been in that position like for the 30th time or for the first time, just like I was. And so there's no shame or no guilt if you don't know something. They come alongside you, and everybody. I mean, other moms in the group that are feeling it too. I mean, that was my biggest motivator. All these other moms are being their best mom they absolutely can, and the best doctor, and serving tons of moms and tons of babies. And when I saw that, I was like, I could do this. I could do this with a baby. I wear my baby all day long in my practice, so I strap my 6-month-old baby onto me and I go at it. It takes me longer than if I didn't have a baby, but it's not going to limit me from not doing it. And I saw other moms doing exactly the same thing. There's moms in the boot camp about to give birth, and they're still in practice serving their patients and serving their pregnant mamas and their babies. And I was like, that is what I want to do.
And not have to like make it up on your own. Like I was just going to read, you talk about pregnant mamas. Jessie Janorski just posted today. So she was due November 30th. This is her second baby. And she said, she just posted, just had my highest office collections today, 11,000 higher than November of 2018. Opened her practice in June of 2018. Despite cutting my workload the last 2 weeks of November, my due date was November 30th, still preggers. She's clearly going to be an overachiever. So here I am, December 2nd at the office, seeing a full day of patients and ready to rock it out to the end of 2019. Can't wait to see what everyone else has accomplished. So you're right. Like there's just like great examples in the boot camp of new mommies and of, you know, I look at Dr. Lori Bent, who's been in practice for 37 years, joined the boot camp 2 years ago, and now is having her biggest months in practice ever. Just when she thought, hey, I think I'm going to retire. Now she's ignited again, serving her community, making more money than she ever has, and enjoying practice. So, I'm really excited to be able to see you face to face again at the pediatric boot camp at Sherman, February 29th to March 1st. As a doc who just got out of school, so all of that stuff is fresh for you. Why are you going to the pediatric boot camp, and why did you snag your ticket right away?
Gosh, I serve so many amazing families, and I don't know it all. I mean, I'm learning forever and ever, and I'm never going to be perfect at taking care of serving mamas and their babies. And I have my own baby, and I want, you know, the doctors that look at my baby and check my baby for subluxation to be doing the exact same thing. So as soon as I hit my goal, I spent that money on the pediatric boot camp because these kids deserve it. They deserve nothing more than a clear nervous system. And that is my conviction. And that having my baby in practice with me assures that to me every single day, straight in the face, that every baby deserves to have the life that my baby does through chiropractic care. And I will never sell them short. No mama is going to come into my practice and be served less than I would serve my own son and my own family members, because these kids out there, that's the best thing they could ever have, is a chiropractic adjustment to ensure their body's working exactly as it should be.
Amen to that. And they do. And you know what? Our community is looking for. I had a conversation this weekend. I was so surprised with a really smart woman, like very, very accomplished, extremely successful. Her daughter isn't that much younger than my daughter, a year younger. And she had just finished her last 𝘵𝘀𝘴 vaccine. I guess it's like a series of 9 or something. And I was just like, oh my gosh, are you serious? Like, why? And my husband and I were talking about it later, and it's like, you know, people don't know. So I'm here to tell all of you, the mamas and daddies in your community don't know the effect of vertebral subluxation on their child. They don't know how healthy and how well their child can be unless you get out there and tell them, unless you develop the skills to do the proper analysis through their history, through their exam, being able to check them for subluxation, being able to communicate with them. I mean, being able to market effectively. Like, it is our duty, it is our responsibility, it is our obligation. Like, these kids are depending on us. And I'm asking every single one of you to step up. Kayla and I are stepping up. We're going to be at the pediatric boot camp. I'm asking each one of you to step up. If you don't want to adjust kids, fine. But if you are seeing any kids in your practice, it is your duty, it is your responsibility, and it is your obligation to be learning all of the time. The kids today are not the same as they were 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago. The assault to the nerve system is so vast that we must learn what we have to do to properly evaluate and then to properly care for these kids and their families. So my heart goes out to you, Kayla, to thank you so much for doing an awesome job, for refusing to accept the status quo of it just takes a long time to get going in your practice, by refusing to accept the dogma that says to play small. You are going full out, and I just thank you so very much, and just want to applaud you and thank you and your husband for the model that you are to not only other students, but also to your community. So as we round this interview out, what final words do you want to give to fellow chiro mamas who maybe they're struggling, maybe they're just waiting for the perfect time to open their practice? What do you want to say to them?
I think it hit me in the face of what the reality of the chiro mama strength that we have as chiro moms. I picked my husband up from school to hit the airport last week to go fly home to Ohio to see family, and another student who's also has a baby around the same age, she came up to my car and she was like, congratulations, I am so proud of you. I had to show my husband to show him that it's possible to be a mom, to step right out of the gate and to do it and do it strong. And gosh, you want to talk about like a humbling, just like, I just felt so good that all of my hard work was portrayed in a way that other mamas just like myself can be their best mama and be their best self and be the best chiropractor that they could be and serve their families. So if you are convicted in chiropractic, like I want to say all of us are, you're convicted in your mamahood and serving your babies, marry the two together and you can absolutely do it. You don't need a babysitter. You don't need a daycare. You go out and be your authentic self to these mamas that you want to serve, and they're going to love you right back because they honor you for being a mama just like they are and being transparent and being honest. I mean, just be you, and that's all I can say, because I'm myself every single day. I make mistakes. I don't know everything, and I'm honest with my patients, and I tell them that I just love on them, and they love me right back. And so that is something that everybody deserves to have in practice. So just do it. Just call Dr. Barb. I'm telling you.
Yeah, and kudos also to Kayla. Please know that we didn't say go out as a new mama, as a new doctor, and have these gigantic overhead practices that strangle your opportunity to be the mom that you want to be the wife that you want to be the husband that you want to be. That's not what we're talking about here. Like, Kayla has been very, very smart in the choices that she has made in opening her practice, and made sure it was a fit that way as well. So it's the full package. So please don't, let's just get on the phone. That will make it so much easier. So I put the link here, complete an application. Let's talk. And if I can help you, I promise I'll tell you exactly what that looks like. If I can't, I will find someone who can. Hey, Bailey just said, way to crush it. Thanks, Bailey. And Bailey's killing it in her practice too. So Kayla, thank you so much. Give that sweet baby a big hug and kiss for me. God bless you. Have a wonderful day, everyone. If this has been an inspiration to you, it will be an inspiration to another chiro sister. So please hit share so that they have an opportunity to hear some good stuff today. Thanks so much. God bless you. Bye-bye.